Hello, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. I am your host Kage with
Neff.
and today we are here with another episode of Popcorn Square. Today, folks, we're going to talk about a few things. A little movie you may have heard of, Minecraft. Going to talk about The Amateur, both movies that have come out very recently this month. We're also going to talk about Sinners. That's going to be out next week. And we're going to touch a little bit on some streaming shows. So let's get into it. So right now, Minecraft, we talked about this last time. This was a kind of a wild card. Minecraft, everybody knows what Minecraft is, right? Unless, like, even if you're not a gamer, you at least know what it is, right? Pixelated graphics, sandbox game, make whatever you want, right? They decided to make that into a movie, and the big question was, is this a good idea? Can it be a good idea? Video game movies historically they're really hit or miss. And when you have a game that doesn't really have a story, on one hand, you can do whatever you want with it story-wise, so long as you stick to the rules of that universe. You have things from that game. You have a character, Steve, and again, you're playing a game with no dialogue. You know what I mean? You have to look it up on Wikipedia to know what your character's name is. That's how obscure it is. But last time we spoke, we talked about Minecraft. We didn't know how it was going to do. Minecraft's been around for a long time, but it's not as popular, or maybe it is now. It's not as popular as it was in the early days. Because I myself played Minecraft back in 2010, 2011, when it was in its infant stages, so to speak. And now kids have Roblox, Fortnite, and all kinds of other things to keep their minds occupied. But Minecraft, as it turns out, has been a tremendous success, box office-wise. Correct me if I'm wrong, Neff, that's a 4X.
I think we're almost there. I think it said the budget's 150 million, correct? So $150 million budget, and then the box office is at 434. But it's Saturday, so I don't know if they've tallied everything for Saturday. So you could be
Okay. Well, Minecraft is kind of back on the map right now, thanks to this movie. I'm sure you may have seen or at least heard about the insanity surrounding this movie. And cut to the chase, really crazy theater goers. On one hand, it's really awesome to see a movie that gets people this excited.
Yeah, you want the crowd into it.
Yeah, exactly. It gets people engaged, you know what I mean? People are laughing, having fun, cheering for the good moments, gasping for the crazy moments, So it's really good to see that again. I feel like it's something we don't really see much in recent days in movies. But this is a little insane, to put it mildly. And it's not children that are acting nuts. It's teenagers or 19, 20-somethings throwing popcorn everywhere, cheering. I think I saw a video of a guy holding up another guy by his waist, and the guy who's being held up by the waist, he had a chicken in the theater. He actually brought a chicken. How he got it through the front, I don't know. But there was a. I haven't seen the movie, but I know about the scene. Apparently, there's something called a chicken jockey. So in the game, they didn't have this when I played, but apparently, a zombie can ride on the back of a chicken, and it will attack you.
Yeah.
Right. And apparently, they put that in the movie, and people are cheering, and it's kind of become a meme. It's kind of become
It's helping with the promotion for the
It
film.
really is. It really is. You got, it's hysterical to see the reactions, but I'm going to tell you something a little personal here. So I used to be a theater worker, and let me tell you something. In all my time as a theater worker, I have never seen an audience act like that, because I probably would quit. If I walked in the theater after a movie, and my job is to clean it up before the next showing, and I saw that, I'd be like, I'm out.
Wow.
I'm out. I don't get paid enough for this, because when I was working in a theater, it was mostly chill. You go in there, check on the people, make sure you're at the counter if they need popcorn refills, whatever. And if you heard teenagers or kids being rowdy, you would walk up there and you would just say, hey, can you keep it down for the other thing? And if you have to tell them multiple times, it's at your discretion if you want to ask them to leave.
Yeah.
Did have to do that. Not much, but I did have to do it for like 1 or 2 people. And it was every once in a while, like little kids doing it.
Right.
But what do you do when it's an entire theater of teenagers?
I know.
When the little ones are actually better behaved than the teenagers or the 20-somethings. It's like, and again, chicken. Guy brought chicken.
Yeah.
A live chicken. And there's explosion of popcorn. Like, watching it on your phone, it's hysterical.
But being there.
A
whole nother ball game.
It's a whole nother ball game, right? So if you're listening to this and you want to go see the movie, go see it. Go check it out. It sounds like a fun time. But just be aware. There's some crazy people out there right now.
It's funny Kage just brought this up because I'm actually looking at some information here that's backing a lot of what he's saying, but we'll look into a little bit of it right now.
Yeah.
Right here it says, last night the Warner Brothers video game movie took in an impressive 21 million on its second Friday. It might hit 80 million plus Sunday evening. Its domestic total now stands at 220 million just after 9 days. This chicken jockey trend is having fans actually recording themselves while losing their minds upon the appearance of a chicken from the original video game. Kids are throwing popcorn and climbing on their friends' shoulders in near euphoric states. So Kage was on it with that.
But again, it's not kids. It's like teenagers.
Yeah,
like
teenagers.
like older
maybe
teenagers.
Younger adults even doing this as well.
Yeah.
Looks like there's some thought going into this. So yeah, Minecraft seems to be an amazing and astounding hit for Warner Brothers. Let's look at that Rotten Tomatoes score.
Yeah.
Although that doesn't really matter, the critics typically hate films like this. So the tomato meter reads 156 reviews, right? 46% from the critics. But the popcorn meter reads 88%, 5,000 verified ratings. So it's definitely been taken over by the moviegoers, your average audience. And that's really all that matters when you're trying to make money. Warner Brothers doesn't care if the critics don't like it because they didn't make the film for the critics. They made it for the audience that played the games, you know, people that still play the games as well. So good job for Warner Brothers there. They've got something else coming soon as well. And we're going to tap into that a little later, but I wanted to go into The Amateur, which just hit theaters this week. Also, Warfare. I'm not going to talk too much about Warfare. I did talk about it on The Weekly yesterday, so go watch that video. I'm hearing great things about that film as well. That's an A24 film. But yeah, The Amateur with Rami Malek and I think, what is her name? Rachel Brosnahan. This is the girl that's going to be in Superman as well, and Lawrence Fishburne were starring in this film. So definitely a decent cast, and I've heard nothing pretty much but good things about this film. The tomato meter on Rotten Tomatoes has it at a 61%. That's 126 reviews from the critics. And the popcorn meter is at an 89%, and that's 500 verified rated reviews there. So once again, this is where you're seeing the audience step in and say, hey, we like this movie. The critics might not like it that much, but there's something we like about it. So funny, I was watching John Campea give his review out of the theater about it, and he said it was like really slow to him, and he's pretty lenient on these mainstream films. So I thought that was interesting, but I've talked to some people off mic, and they said the film was like an 8, nothing less than that. So very interesting. I know Kage brought it up. He was mildly curious about the film. I think he's going to go see the film soon, but I'm not 100% sure. What do you think after seeing those ratings, Kage?
Yeah, I definitely want to see it. It came out yesterday.
Yep.
So I will possibly try and see it tomorrow. I'll try and see it tomorrow if time permits. Yeah, it looks interesting. The cast is interesting. I've always enjoyed seeing Lawrence Fishburne
Of course.
coming there, you know, for that nostalgia's sake, you know, for Morpheus and also John Wick.
Yep.
But I haven't seen him in too many things, to be honest.
Yeah, it seems it could be that he's just picking and choosing certain projects, or maybe people aren't coming to him that much. It's funny, he did a recent interview, I want to say it was within at least a month from today, like in the past here, and he was talking about how they didn't want to come to him for coming back for Morpheus for
I
Matrix
did hear that.
Resurrections.
I read that story.
Thought that was interesting, and he actually offered to reprise his role as Morpheus.
Yeah.
But that movie was terrible, so, you know.
So
It is what
that's
it
a
is.
win on his part.
Exactly.
That talk about working out. Yeah, so I'm excited to see him. Rami Malek, you know,
Good actor.
great actor. I've seen him, you know, again at Night at the Museum. I remember him in what's that show Mr. Robot.
Yep.
That was really good.
Bohemian Rhapsody, playing Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, that
got
too.
him an Oscar.
Yeah, so I don't see him in too many things, but when I do see him in something,
Get your
he
attention.
always knocks it out of the park. So and he was also starring in the game Until Dawn.
Ah, yes, he is, and that releases
And that
on
used-
the 25th. I think
You
that's the
believe
25th
so?
of this month.
I
Look
believe
that
so.
up while I look
Now
up some
he
numbers.
is not. Now it's important to note. Yeah, Rami Malek, his face and his voice are used, and he did the mocap
Okay.
for the game Until Dawn. But I don't think
He's
is.
actually gonna be in
He's
this
gonna.
film.
Well, again, the only thing they pulled from the game is Peter Stormare.
Right.
That's
right,
it.
Right, you said that.
You know.
That would have been that would have been great if they would have brought him back. But then again, if you're gonna do that, bring back Hayden Panettiere.
Well, see, the thing is, the story is supposed to like follow like a bunch of.
Are they like teenagers?
They're supposed to be teenagers
so they're, like,
in
aged
high
out.
school or college. So yeah, they've aged out. I don't think they can pull that off.
Yeah.
That movie's gonna bomb. I might see it for comedy's sake, just to see how bad. I might see Until Dawn. I'm gonna throw shade. I don't care. I might see Until Dawn for the same reason I saw Borderlands. I walked into it
How
knowing
is this
it was
train wreck gonna actually?
exactly. It's the curiosity. I know it's gonna be.
How's it gonna unfold?
How's it going to unfold? Right. The casting is terrible. The story is not even on the mark. And I'll say this much. At least Borderlands took place in Pandora. It had elements and characters and things from the game.
Correct.
This has,
The world was accurate.
the world was accurate. The looks of things, like there's a lot of things that it had potential is what I'm saying. This doesn't have potential. If you don't know anything about the game, will you find it entertaining? Maybe. I'm going to predict a B movie, a B horror movie at best. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, Rami Malek is going to be in this. I don't know about the last person, Shannon Brosnan?
Rachel Brosnahan.
I'm sorry, Rachel Brosnahan. I don't know her from anything, but I do know that she's supposed to be Lois Lane
Yep.
in the new Superman. That's the only thing I know. So yeah, I'm definitely curious about this one. I think it's going to be different than
for sure.
well, it's going to be different because like the movies I go to the theater for are action, are like more sci-fi, horror, that type of
Psychological thrillers.
psychological thrillers, exactly. And like this one, this was a kind of a wild card for me. I was like, okay, I like who's in it. I kind of like the premise.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Let me wait and see how it does, you know. And I'm happy to say it looks like it's a fun time. So I'm definitely gonna check that out.
And this film was distributed by 20th Century Studios, ladies and gents. But yeah, we see some mixed reviews from the critics, but one thing that is for sure is Rami Malek's performance has been praised. So that's one thing to look out for. And as Kage said, that's one thing you can expect from a film that he's in. He's going to bring his best when he comes to work on set. This budget was $60 million for the amateur, and so far the box office is $6 million. There is some competition, obviously. This film is PG-13 too, and I think I brought that up on the weekly as well this past week. Maybe that could be hurting the viewership. You know, with a film like this, just looking at it, I'm not saying it has to be a super rated R violent film, but I'm thinking they're going to take it there on screen. And when I saw the PG-13, it was kind of deflating, to be honest, but that doesn't mean the film is bad. Like I said, the person that I did talk to off mic, they said they gave it an 8, and also they said it didn't feel like it was a PG-13 film. So it might be a film that just really plays on that line there.
So-
it could be rated R, could not be, and they got the 13.
I think just off the top of my head, this is just speculation, but I feel like a large part of the reason why it's PG-13 and not rated R is for a couple of reasons. One, if it was a physics, so your antagonist or your protagonist, I'm sorry, his background is IT.
Yep.
He does security. He's not ripped. He's not combat trained or whatever. Because if he was combat trained in like physical combat and all this stuff, then it would just be John Wick, another beekeeper, you know what I mean? And I think that would hurt it. So how do we separate from that? How do we make a revenge movie where you killed my wife, you killed somebody I cared about, and now I'm going to take down the whole gang, no matter how high it goes, you know? We've seen this trope before, and it just comes down to how is it executed. And what's different about this isn't a guy with combat experience with guns and knives and stuff like that. This is basically a nerd.
Yeah.
But he's very, very smart.
Yeah.
And don't underestimate nerds. So if he's going to be on a computer somewhere or hacking on his phone, he can still mess with people in a very terrifying way. Mess with security cameras, change stoplights, control bridges. Who knows what's going to happen in this?
Right.
But my point is, controlling electrical stuff is that sounds PG-13.
Yeah.
If it was a physical role where a guy had a machete and guns and all that stuff,
Cutting through people,
hard,
yeah,
rated R,
for
absolutely.
Sure. That makes sense. That's a good way to explain it.
That's the only thing I can possibly think of, because again, if it was a physical thing, it would get a rated R more likely, but
Like
it would
a
also
Working Man type.
right, but it would be too similar to the barrage of John Wick like films.
good point, yeah.
And you know what I think about too, with John Wick being such a success, no matter what you think about John Wick 4, writers need to be careful when they're coming up with ideas, because we have all these John Wick movies, we have the spin-off movies, then we just had The Beekeeper last year, and now we got this movie. We got to ease up on the revenge movies, because here's the thing: if they're gonna turn, and I hope they don't, if they're gonna turn John Wick into Fast and the Furious, and they're just going to keep making these movies, then anybody else who makes a movie of this type, they're going to be competing with that.
For sure.
They're going to be shut down right before they even leave the gate, because people are going to go, oh, why would I watch your thing?
Yeah, it almost
We
set
already-
like a new standard, a modern
It's
standard for
exactly.
action.
It sets a standard for action. Thank you, because all we have is this. So
Yeah.
stop making John Wick movies. You're oversaturating the market of revenge films. We had Taken with Liam Neeson, classic. We have all the Die Hard movies. We have. Stop it.
Maybe you will get your wish after John Wick 5, Kage.
There shouldn't be a 5.
I know. I don't know if I'm going to watch it. But
I'm
also,
not.
John Bernthal's in this as well. So this cast is pretty much stacked.
Which is funny, because he plays the Punisher, which is another revenge thing.
And he's in The Accountant too, as Braxton Wolf.
There you go.
So that's going to be very interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, The Amateur, if you have seen this movie, please let us know down in the comments what you thought about that. Maybe the talk me and Kage just had will get you to watch the film. First weekend, it just opened up. Like I said, Warfare as well, if you're into something like that. I've heard it is a good movie. I did a quick review on that as far as what the people are rating it, some of the reviews that people saw, what they thought about the film. And so overall, I've heard it is a pretty solid war film. I don't think you're going to waste your money on either of these, to be honest. So we're going to recommend The Amateur and Warfare. We hit on Minecraft. Now let's talk about Sinners. This is another Warner Brothers film that is going to be releasing this upcoming weekend. And boy, are we excited for this. I'm so excited for it. I've talked about it a couple times on the weekly. I was actually watching Talk to Me on Netflix. Kage likes that film. It's an A24 horror film.
I watched it recently as well.
Right, I was watching that, and an ad came up because I'm not paying for any premium version of Netflix, and a Sinners trailer was popping. Like, it popped up on the screen, and I literally turned off the TV, and I just didn't finish the rest of Talk to Me. So that's how serious I am about the trailers and the spoilers. Obviously, I'm in the know on a lot of things that are happening with this film, so I am going to see some things that I don't want to see from time to time. And that goes for any film, seeing as how I'm really getting a lot of information on everything that's coming out and stuff in the future as well. But as far as trailers, I'm definitely trying to limit that. But that was a little funny segue on something that happened last night regarding Sinners. But we talked about that Rotten Tomatoes score, ladies and gents. Obviously, the embargo has lifted for the critics. We don't have a popcorn meter score because it's not out for the movie-going audience to see and rate yet, but 45 reviews now. Last time I reported on it, it was about 15, so we have a bigger sample size now. 45 reviews from critics on Sinners, 100% tomato meter. That's a big sample size there at that point, ladies and gents. So I think we are definitely getting a banger of a film. There are some reviews here. I'm not really going to go through the personal reviews here from the people, and there are a lot of critics' reviews already, but that is something that is available on Rotten Tomatoes if you want to go look. I don't know if Kage did the research on this. I don't want to jump the gun here, but I checked IGN for him, and IGN has Sinners at a 9 out of 10. So I think this one's going to be a great movie. A lot of people are excited for it. As I said on the weekly, I am mobilizing the crew. We are going to pump the numbers up on this film.
Let's go.
Yeah. Kage, what do you think about Sinners this week?
I'm excited. Again, I feel like this episode, and I'm just saying for me personally, I feel like this episode is all about sleeper films. The things, the wild cards, the things that are like, I don't know, I can go either way with this. This could be really good or really bad. Man, I really don't know. Minecraft sounds stupid. Apparently it's a hit. It's viral, okay? Amateur. That again, we haven't seen Rami Malek in a while, but everything he's in, he tends to lift it up, And then again, Sinners, like, okay, I saw one trailer, one.
That's good. That's
one
all you need
trailer.
To see. Did you watch the first or second one?
I believe it was the first.
The first came out about 6 months back. So if it was that one, and that one doesn't show too much.
It doesn't show too much, and again, that anybody out there listening in Hollywood, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. Less is more. You don't have to show me a 5-minute trailer, okay? Just show me a trailer with little bit of, hey, this is what my story is about. Okay, good. That's it. Don't give me the plots and twists exactly. Just, hey, I got a movie about this is, and that, and that's it. And let my curiosity bring me in. And that is what the trailer has done. The trailer has enticed me to go, okay, you have my attention. I'm curious. I want to see where this goes. And they didn't bombard us with 6 or 7 trailers, you know what I'm saying? And again, you got to be careful, folks, when you're out there watching trailers or like on the internet in general. Be very careful, okay? Because not all studios have common sense. Some of them, they'll make 1 trailer, maybe 2, and then you got others that'll just pump out a trailer, or maybe they'll make 1 trailer, but they show every good part in the film.
Yeah.
So this one, I'm really excited about.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be doing a full review next time we get on the mics here for Sinners. I believe everybody is going to be watching this film. Might even watch it twice if it's that good in theater.
I'm going to Sinners next weekend.
Are you going on Friday?
Maybe I'm thinking most likely Saturday.
Yeah, I'm going Saturday night. The 19th.
Okay.
And as I said, ladies and gents, I'll definitely be doing a full review. There's going to be spoilers, but I'll have a disclaimer in the video before so no one gets any information that they don't want to hear. But next weekend's going to be big for Warner Brothers.
I'm going to try to watch Amateur tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
So next time we come back, time we meet, we're going to be able to talk about Amateur.
Yep.
We're going to be able to talk about Sinners.
Yep.
And actually, we can talk about our next topic here if we're ready for that.
Yep. But before we get off the topic on Sinners, Ryan Coogler is directing. If no one knew, Michael B. Jordan in this film as well. He's obviously the main character, right? And this is what I like about Sinners. We already know Michael B. Jordan, pretty good actor. But when someone has to play 2 different versions of themselves in a sense, that's when you really get to see someone's acting chops on screen. So I'm extremely excited for Michael B. Jordan's performance on this. Hailee Steinfeld, the beautiful Hailee Steinfeld, is in this film. Jack O'Connell, I've heard a lot of good things about his performance in this film. Wunmi Masaku, she's in this film, and Jamie Lawson is in this film as well. So there's a lot of other people that didn't even name on this cast and crew. Everybody's doing amazing work. I think the cinematography is going to be great. Obviously, the direction from Ryan Coogler, the score, everything, supporting performances are going to be great. But Sinners coming up this upcoming weekend, big for Warner Brothers. Got Minecraft and Sinners, so you got something for the kids still, right?
Sure.
And you got something for the adults. So there's a lot of duality there.
Studios, that's how you do it. Make something for the kids, make something for the adults. Everybody's happy.
For sure. Next, we're going to talk about shows that are going to be starting up on streaming. So we talked about, last time we were here, we talked about Black Mirror Season 7 starting up. That's already going. But the big one that's going to be hitting, and I think a lot of people are going to be watching for this, is The Last of Us Season 2. Kage, let's hear about that.
So streaming, Last of Us Season 2 starts actually tomorrow. So depending on when you're listening to this, It is coming out tomorrow. I don't know if HBO is going to release the whole season. My gut's telling me probably not. I think they're just going to do what they did last time. They're just going to release one episode a week. But yeah, this is a big one. The first season was a hit. You can look at reviews across the board. All episodes are 10 out of 10. Season was reviewed as a 10 out of 10. And now we get to see a continuation of this story. The first season takes place, it covers the first game. Well, this is going to cover the second game. And disclaimer, they've already announced there will be a season 3. Okay, so part 2 of the game is being broken up into 2 seasons. I'm kind of surprised. At first, I was surprised that they chose to do that, but remembering what I do about the game, I can understand why they're doing 2. Okay, it's a beefier story to tell, and I don't want to give away too much, but I'm expecting great things. I'm definitely looking forward to that. Other than that, I haven't really watched too much shows streaming wise. I did finish the Devil May Cry series on Netflix.
What'd you think about that?
I really enjoyed it. I was very shocked, first and foremost, because video game shows on Netflix, or just shows in general on Netflix, are not that great. They'll do one season, and then Netflix has a reputation for canning it no matter how much people like it, you know? And when it comes to video game things in particular, it's kind of like, it's okay.
Right.
And so me being a gamer, and I've played most of the Devil May Cry games, I went into it, giving it a chance, open-minded, let's see what they do. The animation was good, the scenes were good, the writing was pretty solid, the music is really awesome, so depending on how old you are, this is for all you people that went to high school in the early 2000s. There's a lot, the music, the soundtrack is very early 2000s, like Limp Bizkit, Evanescence, Papa Roach, Rage Against the Machine, all these singles that you've heard on the radio back in the early 2000s, they're all in this this show, so you're going to have a good time, right. I think. And I was surprised because I watched the first season, so they put the entire first season up. So
how many episodes?
It's 10, no, 8. I think it's 8.
Okay, so I think it's like the standard now.
Yeah, but I think though this is just my thinking. I noticed that some shows when they put out a season, they'll put out 6 to 8 episodes, maybe 9 as a test bed to see how it goes. And if the show does really well, then the following season will have more. So like Walking Dead, that had, 6 episodes in season 1, and then season 2, they put a lot more with, Last of Us. I think it was 9 episodes, and now we're going to get, I think, more for part 2 of season, or part 1 of season 1, or season 2. Ugh. But yeah, like some shows do that. But with Devil May Cry, I think it's like 8 episodes. At first I thought they made their own story for the show,
yeah.
And I was pleasantly surprised what I found out when I did some research. So the character in the trailer, so this isn't really a spoiler, they show a rabbit demon, and you're like, I've played the games, there's no rabbit. Well, it turns out there is a rabbit in the Devil May Cry lore. There's a Devil May Cry manga, apparently, that I have not seen. But now I'm curious. And they pulled elements from the manga and put it in the show. So if you're watching the show, don't look at it so much from a gamer. This is more for the people that who are into the extended lore, the expanded lore. It has stuff that you're going to pick up on, little Easter eggs, if you will, for the gamers. But like some of the stuff, you're going to look at it and go, what the heck is that? That doesn't, like, they have bosses from the game. They have weapons from the game, names of enemies, and like they hit the basic plot points. It's gotten mixed reviews. I'm not going to lie. Like with reviewers, like actual journalist sites, they are giving it high praise. They're giving it high reviews. With gamers, it's kind of mixed. They're like, because you always get those people, and I'm guilty of it too, where you have a show or movie based on a game, and depending on how much you love that game, you're either going to really love or really hate that movie.
Yeah.
Because when Hollywood does Hollywood things and they start going off and doing their own thing, that tends to piss people off. But when you stick to the lore and everything, that makes people happy. Master Chief, was it Halo series on Paramount?
Yeah.
What'd they do? They took the helmet off. You don't ever take the helmet off. Chief is a man of few words.
He never takes the
and
helmet
takes
off.
the helmet off, and I didn't watch it, but I heard all the gripes about it, and it's like, yeah, that's how you piss off your
That
audience.
is the allure of Master Chief.
Right.
The fact that he doesn't remove it.
Exactly, that mystique.
It's like immersion.
That's why they do it. They have the character not speaking because you are supposed to embody that character. That's the idea, aka first-person shooter. But kind of getting back to it, the Devil May Cry, it's a good show. And I highly recommend everybody out there who's listening, give it a chance, whether you're a gamer or not. I think it's a good time. If, depending, again, your music taste, like I'm sitting there, I'm like bobbing my head. I'm like, I'm having fun watching this.
Yeah.
And it was recently announced that it is getting a season 2.
Awesome. Now, to double back after Devil May Cry, how we were talking about The Last of Us Season 2, got some more clarification on the
what do we
release
got?
schedule. So, obviously, we're starting on Sunday, April the 13th, and it's going to run all the way till May 25th. So, got about a month and a half of...
So, yeah, if they're doing that, then that means it's
and
going to be
7
one
episodes.
episode. What?
Yeah, it's going to be 7. Yep.
I wonder if the episodes are going to be longer then, because they're 45 minutes to an hour, but I think the pilot episode was like an hour and a half.
A little more,
a
get you
little,
going,
like
yeah.
just to get you going.
Do you think they're going to do any recaps, Kage, or do you think they're going to kind of just go straight into it, hoping that you watched?
I think they're just going to go straight into it.
Makes sense.
Because they got a lot of story to tell, and why
You're saying they don't have time to recap.
They don't have time in the budget. They have a lot of story to tell, so let's get right to it. Besides, season 1 is up there right now anyway.
I recently talked to someone off mic that they know about The Last of Us, obviously, the part 1 of the game. I think they may have played it, but I'm not 100% sure. But they were saying the show was good. They just felt like, as far as the game is concerned and the live action adaptation, and you are going to see this because it is live action, he said there was like a lot of things kind of missing that happened in the game that he wished he would have saw in the show. So I wonder if you playing the game, if you noticed that in season 1.
So I haven't watched season 1 in a little while, but I do remember.
He also said he needed to watch the last. I said watch the last 3 episodes to re-engage. So when you watch on Sunday, you're not going to be completely lost. So it might be something you need to do too. At least maybe the last.
Yeah. That's a great point. It was I'm very surprised to hear that. I wonder if I know who.
He liked it. He still liked it. He just said, "Oh, there was things that were missing."
So it's funny to say that some stuff was missing because actually they included more that wasn't in the game. They gave context to certain things that were talked about but not shown in the game. And because it's a show, they can flesh that out a little more. And it was a welcome change. It's one of those, I think, rare opportunities.
Like a Fallout type thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like, this isn't really these characters in Fallout, but I like where you're going with this. So I'm open to it because the world still makes sense.
Well, like, okay, take for instance, and again, I'm going to try my best not to spoil too much of the first season because I highly recommend you go out and watch it if you haven't. But like, there's a character called Frank, and he's really gruff, and Ellie and Joel, come across him, and Joel knows Frank. Okay, they have a past, but now it's the apocalypse, and Frank is a bit of he's neurotic, he's really gruff, but with good reason. It's the apocalypse after all. He's looking out for number one, and he doesn't want to help anybody. I get it.
Yeah.
Okay? In the game, you learn about Frank having a partner that he was with, and it kind of alludes to some stuff about that relationship, about how they were together and how and what happened. And it kind of gives you enough exposition to fill in the gaps, I guess, just through conversation and finding notes and things. And that's about it. Whereas the show actually had an episode dedicated to Frank and what happened. So that you're seeing more his backstory. So if you were to watch the show and go play the game, you'd get a better sense of why Frank is the way he is.
Correct.
You know what I mean? You get to see a side of Frank in this show that you didn't see in the game. So that's probably the biggest change, I would say, but it was a welcome change.
I like your perspective on that. Definitely like your perspective on that. So, ladies and gents, we covered The Last of Us. That's going to be a big one coming up. Kage tackled Devil May Cry for anybody that may be interested in that. I don't know if Crunchyroll has anything new coming up. I don't know. Is Solo Leveling Season 2 still going?
So,
it might be.
Oh, okay, yeah, so we can talk about that for a bit. So Season 2 ended 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Season 2 ended for Solo Leveling 2 weeks ago, and I gotta say, it is amazing.
Nice.
It is an amazing show. Season 1 was amazing. Season 2 is amazing. And it just, every episode, the same reason I love it is the same reason I hate it. Because the show shows some amazing action. The story, like, I'm really digging the story. And then it always leaves you on a cliffhanger. Some epic fight happens, and
Yeah.
he shows off something that you didn't know he could do.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
I really like the animation, how they implement 3D elements.
Yeah, yeah.
It really works.
Yeah, but at the same time, they don't overdo it. I think it's a perfect
Exactly. It's a
blend.
balance.
Because with anime, it's tricky. You have anime that does a lot of CG, and it can look really hokey. And then you got anime that's completely traditional, hand-drawn, through and through, true and true, with the way it's always been.
Yep.
And so I think this is a great balance. But they always end it on a cliffhanger, and you're like, and then all of a sudden it cuts, and it shows that the outro song and the credits and the feet walking. There's a meme out there of people showing this is the thing that pisses off people the most. How to piss off people by showing them a picture, and it shows you the feet, and I get it, okay? So here's the crazy thing. The show Solo Leveling Season 1 and 2, absolutely amazing. People are clamoring for Season 3. We're not getting a Season 3. At least not till estimated
years?
till 2027.
Okay.
That's the rumor. And the funny reason is it's because the main guy behind it, he's working on another anime.
Okay.
You know?
Something to fill the gap.
I mean, that's
Possibly.
That's something. So maybe, yeah, that's a great point.
one way to look at
He's gonna work on this for a while, get this going, and when he's done with this, hopefully come back to Solo Leveling. And when Solo Leveling's wrap up, he's gonna do the next season of whatever thing he's working on. So I get it. It still sucks that we gotta wait.
Yeah.
But like Solo Leveling, guys, is a web manga. You can buy you can actually buy the physical book. I've seen them on Amazon. So if you want to look into that, read it. I've seen it online. I've seen the books. You have plenty of time between now and 2027. And of course, if you haven't watched it, go watch it. Go watch it. It's on Crunchyroll. I promise you, you will not be disappointed.
Kage stamps it, ladies and gents. Go watch Solo Leveling Season
Yup.
2 if you have not recapped on any of that. Also, if you didn't watch Season 1, watch that as well. I'm sure they're still streaming right now on Crunchyroll, so you can binge that if you have the time for it. One show that I've heard about, and Buttons actually brought this up, and I'm starting to hear more about it. I believe we're in Season 1, but Episode 3 of it. And to me, when I saw the production of this show, it looked like it could be a movie, to be quite honest, is Mobland. Creator Ronan Bennett did this. We have a solid cast: Anson Boone, Tom Hardy, Pierce Bronson, 007 himself, and Helen Mirren. This show is doing pretty well as well, and this is on Paramount right now, ladies and gents. So Mobland is a show that might interest you. 8.2 out of 10 on IMDb, so
Whoa.
very interesting. You know, I think it's following, I want to say, elements of the Irish mob. Don't quote me on that, but I've heard very loosely about it. And overall, it's looking good. Episode 2 got an 8.4 out of 10. I'm not seeing the rating for Episode 1, but if it's got an 8.2 out of 10 so far, it's definitely a show that has been doing well. So go ahead and watch that. Also, not a show, but a movie that's going to be coming out starring Mr. Tom Hardy. Again, it's going to be Havoc. That's going to be on Netflix, I believe, on the 25th. That's going to be streaming, and I talked about that on the weekly as well. So we have The Accountant 2 coming out on the 25th, and we have Havoc. So 2 action films that you can kind of jump back and forth with
Nice.
in the next 2 weeks. So that's what we got pretty much for this episode, ladies and gents. We're going to be tackling CinemaCon Next time we meet up, we're also going to be tackling Sinners. We're going to have a full review on that. What else is in there in between there? We have Sinners, maybe The Amateur. We'll talk about The Amateur, right?
Talk about The Amateur.
We'll talk about
Sinners.
CinemaCon.
Well, we'll talk about CinemaCon, which is huge in itself.
Huge.
But also, too, the next time we meet, we will have a few episodes to talk about of Last of Us. And again, Last of Us comes out tomorrow, folks.
Yep.
So
Tomorrow,
if you
Last
haven't
of Us.
seen it, hit it tonight, folks. You don't have nothing to do. Grab some popcorn,
Yeah.
grab your girlfriend, whatever. It's going to be a good time. For real. No, for real. The first season is out right now on HBO Max. Go see it. It is so
I've
good.
told
I promise
Kage
you.
I think this is going to be a very polarizing season for people that haven't
Yep.
played the game. On one end, they don't know what they're going to be watching, and people that have played the game, they know what to expect. So I think it's going to be a very interesting dynamic when it comes to The Last of Us Part 2. But ladies and gents, with that being said, please subscribe to the channel, share this video with a couple of friends and colleagues, like this video as well. Also, comment down below if you're excited about anything that we talked about. We talked about a lot of movies and shows that are currently streaming and things that are going to be upcoming in the next couple weeks. As Kage said, when we return back to speak on mic, we are going to have a lot of things to talk about, maybe even 2 episodes worth, so stay tuned for that. Anything else to add, Kage?
All I can say is just be excited, folks, because I think we're about to eat real good entertainment-wise. I really believe
Sinners
that.
this week, ladies and gents, let's pump the numbers up for this one. I think this one is going to be great. Wouldn't be recommending it if I didn't think that. With that being said, it's Neff signing off with
Kage.
Be safe.